Welcome to Kind of Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And tonight we have a newcomer to the show with a brand new comic book that is not launched, getting ready to launch. Hold on to your wallets. Don't need to get the credit cards out. Just get this one into your head so that when it comes out and launches, you're like, yeah, I've been waiting for that one. I want to jump on that one. I want to launch on that one. So please welcome with me to the show, Miss Rena and Black Rhapsody. Miss Rena, how are you tonight?
Hello, I am doing fine. How are you?
I could not be much better. I mean, it's oh wait, it's not Friday. Crap. Never mind. I suck. This is not TGIF. This is So Happy It's Thursday,
Yeah.
which is another acronym altogether. But yeah, you got this Black Rhapsody thing coming up here, and the images I've seen of it, let's just show the main one here. This is cool. This is goth fairy rock and roll. I'm not going to say vampire because I don't think she's a vampire.
She's a fae. She's a dark fae.
So is this the same person on both sides?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm like, because I was thinking, two different people, Seelie and Unseelie. If you're a person who uses the word fae, you know what those words mean.
Yeah. No, she is unseelie, but you're going to see why within the story.
Well, it looks really cool graphics wise, but walk us. Well, first of all, take the story, put it aside. Who is Miss Rena, and why is she making comics?
I'm an up-and-coming comic creator. I got interested in making comics through my childhood, more specifically manga, because this is a manga-esque comic. I grew up reading manga more than comics. I didn't start reading comics until I was like in high school. My first manga was in middle school. It was a book called...
a couple years ago.
Yeah. It was a book called Red River. It was just like time-traveling romance between, I think, a Mesopotamian prince and a teenage girl from Japan, like 21st century Japan. And I just fell in love with the artwork more than the story.
Yeah, a lot of kids in middle school and high school are falling in love with the art. And I don't know if it's because I can't say it's different from what they've seen before now because it's been with us for so long, but there is definitely an appeal that continues to pull readers in. Speaking of readers, we've got, folks in the chat here. Mike Walters is peeking in to say hi.
Hello.
Clyde Crash Cup saw the blast signal. Yes, that's what we definitely call it. American Comics Company is here. Hail chat. Hail American Comics Company. Glad to see you. And of course, our wrench extraordinaire Herwinberg is here with the links already. And folks, that link is pinned at the top of the chat and will always be below the video. So, if you're coming in and she's already launched this book, don't worry. The link will take you to the actual launch page, even though it's a pre-launch link. Indiegogo's real good about taking care of us that way. So at what point did you decide to start creating and drawing? Now, first of all, are you writing and drawing this book, or what's your full role in the creation of the process?
I'm the writer. I'm just the writer. I have an artist working on the book for me. Her name is Jen Apple.
First of all, never say just a writer.
Oh, sorry.
I'm a writer. I don't write comic books, but writing is hard, and your artist has nothing to do if you don't give her any art direction in a story. So,
Yeah.
so you come first. That's why you get first billing. Um, but you decided that the the sequential, I couldn't get the words out. The sequential art format was what you wanted to use to tell your stories.
Yep.
And have you done any before this one?
No, this is my first one.
Okay, so not even like practice with like sketches and stick figures and stuff like that.
No, I unfortunately don't have an aptitude for art.
Yeah, well, I don't either. But you can usually, if you want to write a comic, a lot of times you'll know where you want your panels. You know how you want your layout to work, unless you're going to totally trust that to your artist.
I totally trust it to my artists.
Probably a good call. Um, have you looked at any comic scripts for for format for communication to the artist, of how the art should flow?
Yes. When I started working on my first script, I was looking at an archive that contains scripts from various like writers, like oh man, I have the dude who did Witchblade, Ron Mars,
No,
and the dude who also did The Boys, various other comic book creators.
Garth Ennis. Yeah,
Yes, Garth Ennis. Why was I blanking on his name?
I was half wondering if I said the right one because I get it mixed up with Warren Ellis a lot.
Yeah, Warren Ellis was one, but I was mainly sticking to Ron Mars's script because I am familiar with his work. I
Yeah,
So I would just take one of the scripts and just have like a side by side comparison with the actual comic book. So as I read the script, I was matching it to the panel. Okay, so I was like telling myself, okay, this is how this person did it. This is how the artist captured this panel. And it helped me map my own script.
it's a lot like a screenplay. You tell them the camera angles, the close-ups, all that good stuff. If you really want to bog yourself down, find an Alan Moore script for Watchmen and compare it to the books, because it's like you'll have a novel of a script boiled down to something. Whereas if you find an old Marvel script from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, it's 2 pages. He's like, hey, they fight. Oh yeah, that was the Marvel method. Jack would tell, or Stan would tell Jack, Spider-Man fights Doc Ock at a bank robbery, and then he goes home, and Aunt May is sick, and then he sends some photos to Jonah Jameson. He gets yelled at, and then he goes home. And then Jack would just draw that, and then Stan would come in over the art and says, "Okay, now what are they saying here?" And he'd start adding the dialogue as the last thing. That's known as the Marvel method.
Wow, I did not know that.
It's something you can do, and apparently it worked quite well. They built a multi-billion-dollar company off that process.
That's a lot of luck and a lot of trust in your artists.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's why they got co-create. Well, they didn't get any co-creators at the time, but that's why everybody says, hey, Spider-Man is Lee and Ditko. Fantastic Four is Lee and Kirby, because the artist had almost full control into the creative flow of what happened in the story. And then the writers just came back again later and said, we'll fill in the word balloons. I couldn't possibly do that. I want to know what the story is going to be up front. I'm very, very anal about that. And at the same time, I hate writing outlines for my stories. So,
me too. I like to see where things are going. I just, just guess. Like, what would be,
I like, the Neil Gaiman school of writing, where it's, he knows who's going to be in the story. He's got these 5 characters. He throws them on the stage and says, okay, fight it out, and watches them to see what they do, and then writes it down. So tell me about your character here in Black Rhapsody. Who is she, and why is she?
This is Alethea. Okay, so on the left side is Alethea Mahalia, the main character, and on the right is her magical girl persona, Hecate.
Okay, so wait, you told me they were the same person.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so she's but she's also she's Althea, and then she's also Hecate.
Yeah.
I know the name. Why'd you pick it?
Uh, because Hecate is one of my favorite Greek gods. She's the more likable of the I wouldn't say Olympian because she's not Olympian, but she's one of the more likable of the Greek gods
Yeah,
and the
she
most
she
relatable.
she was
Because
a goddess of death, wasn't she?
she's a goddess of ghosts and
Yeah,
witchcraft, but she's not
and the
evil.
moon. Yeah, she was also she was not Diana, of course, but she
She
was
was one
related.
of three, yeah, one of three moon goddesses:
Always
Selene,
one of three.
Artemis, and Hecate.
Robert Roberts asking, is Hecate Demeter's daughter? I don't
No,
know. I know
that's
Persephone
Persephone.
was. Yeah, I didn't know she had other
Hecate,
kids.
Hecate, no, okay, Demeter is Persephone's mother. Demeter only had one child that was Persephone. Hecate plays a huge role in the Greek tale, The Taking of Persephone. She was the one who helped reunite Demeter with Persephone. So you can
Okay,
consider her the main character as she's looking for Persephone.
so she was sort of the Deus ex machina that came to Demeter and said, "Hey, she's here."
She was the witness to Hades taking Persephone, the only witness.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you read the myth, Demeter did not get to Persephone in time to stop her from eating anything. She had 6 pomegranate seeds while she was down there because she was starving.
And now
Um,
must stay 6 months within the underworld.
yes, and apparently she's gone back and only eaten 3 of them because we're only getting 3 months of winter these days, and the rest of the year
Yeah.
is just hot. Um, she was on a diet here in the south of the U.S. I'm joking. So why does what's with the guitar? I mean, she's obviously got a Fey world going on over here and a quote unquote real world going on here. What we call it, the mundane world.
The world of Black Rhapsody is kind of like an urban fantasy. So you have humans and magical creatures living side by side together, like it's nothing.
Like Holly
Ah,
Black stories.
what?
Oh, if you've not read any Holly Black stories, you must. She does urban fantasy very, very, very well. She did the Spiderwick Chronicles with Tony DiTerlizzi, but
Oh,
outside of that, she did some YA urban fantasy of fairies living in New York. Primo stuff.
I have to check her out.
Yes. Oh, you absolutely must. Um, but yeah, I'm just looking at her wardrobe here, and I'm like, she's definitely holding a modern guitar, but she's dressing like a nun, and not a good one.
Uh, uh, for me to explain that, that'll be spoilers.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is she part of a rock group? We just say it's Image or something, but
Uh, she's not technically part of a rock group. She wants to be she wants to break into the music industry, but things don't exactly go as planned for her.
so one of the things about the Fae is that they glamour people. Um, I would I would expect that there must be a reason why she's not just saying, "I'm a rock star. Let me on stage." And
Again, that's getting into spoilers.
oh, I do this, Rena. I start analyzing people's stories and pitches, and before you know it, I'm like pulling the finales and the climaxes out of it. Um,
Yeah, there is a reason that's going to be explained in the book. It's just that I can't say it without spoiling the book.
I completely understand. I had the guys from Pocus Hocus on last month, and I was asking a certain question about a story element, and they're like, "Oh no, no, no!" And then I got the book, and I emailed back and said, "Hey." He's like, "Yeah, I know. We had to lie to you because we couldn't spoil the story." Like, okay, just so I know, Alan. You know,
Heroenberg is on the money. That yeah, that all that is Hecate.
yes, she I knew she was related to the moon, um, the ruler of the night, associated with moon in general, and the daughter of the Titan Persis and Asteria, goddess of magic and spells. Yes, that's why I keep hearing her name in Sabrina and everything. Um, is she crazy like some moon spirits? Robert would like to know.
No, no, she's not. But she gets into crazy situations in the book.
What kind of rock she play?
What?
What kind of rock does she play?
She doesn't play rock. She's based off the gothic music genre ethereal wave. If you listen to ethereal wave, it sounds like ghosts speaking to you or
Oh,
ghosts singing, which kind of goes with the motif of this particular deity as the literal mother of ghosts.
all right. So she does ghost music. Um, I don't imagine that draws a big crowd, but maybe it's
Yeah,
going to be.
it's like ethereal wave is one of the lesser known genres. It's not as popular, let's say, rap or R&B.
Oh, now I've got something to look up after this. So, all right. Frog G is telling me no spoilers. He wants to read this. Frog G, you were the last package in the box that went out last week, and I saw that you received it today. So enjoy your incontessi. Uh, Herrenberg says also Magical Gal Media is on Twitter, and yes, their work is 18 plus, so please no minors. That's up to Twitter to decide that, Herrenberg. We can't. We can warn. But yes, she is at Magic Gal Media, and I didn't see anything that struck out to me as 18 plus, but I'm getting jaded in my old age, so a lot of the
Don't
stuff.
worry, there's going to be some more characters that I'm going to introduce, and their designs are a bit racy.
Well, that's the main rule of making comics, Rena, is boobs sell.
You're right.
Yep. Bring out the boobs, we bring the cash. It's just how it is. It really is.
Nah, I
It's
know.
been that way since the 90s. So this is one of the pages that we've got as a sample artwork. No lettering on here. This does not look like Althea, but it's black and white, so it could be difficult to tell.
Yeah, this is like the prologue, the first few pages of the book. This is Hope. She's she was a magical girl, as you're going to see, but let's just say something's coming after her.
Oh, there's nothing more foreshadowing than starting off your book by killing Hope. So
Yeah, that's the first
that
page of the book.
Okay, definitely. Cats always figure into magical stories. The cat is a witness that the shadow is coming up behind her, and she's figuring it out. Now these people don't look very friendly.
Oh my gosh, the Glamorous Marionettes. They're based off the Greek goddesses of vengeance, the
Oh, the
Furies.
Furies. Yeah.
Yeah, they're named after the Furies, and
But
their
but
music.
but what did you call them?
They're they're called
The Glamorous Marionettes.
Yes,
I love that.
because they're
That
based
is.
on like a bubblegum pop group. Like for kiddies. They're an
Yeah.
idol group for kids. But as you see, they're not as human as they let on.
That sounds like a group you would run into in Neverwhere, in London below. Watch out for the Glamorous Marionettes. So this isn't how they normally look. Then they've got an altered form that's more human.
Yeah.
And this is their all teeth version. This is when you put the scanner's glasses on, and yeah, no, that's too much of a portmanteau mouthful there, Raiden Radio. Glamarionettes, yeah, I like the two words separated. It's
Yeah.
it just sounds cooler. And look at us getting educated here, everybody. It's ethereal subgenre of dark wave. Okay, so I know the Cocteau Twins. I know Dead Can Dance.
Yeah, that's the genre Alethea and Hecate are based off of. The ethereal wave there it's mainly known from the Cocteau Twins. So if you listen to their music, that's ethereal wave.
Okay. And of course, Heroinberg's self-titled comic book, Heroinberg, they have a heroine called Etheria in Heroinberg. So everything's just coming together like a plan from Hannibal in the A-Team. I love it when that happens. So here she is. She's on the stage. I know it's not the same genre, but you can't help but get a strong Amy Lee from Evanescence vibe about her.
I'm sorry, I don't know who Amy Lee is.
Oh, you how young are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, um, so you don't know who Evanescence is?
I know who Evanescence is. I just don't know who Amy Lee is because I don't usually. The only song I listen for that I know of Evanescence is "Wake Me Up, Wake Me Up Inside." That's the only song
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, and you only call me when you're sober. Yeah, that okay. Yeah, you need to get the Evanescence album. My Immortal would rank right up in here with you. Amy Lee is the lead singer, and she's got that very ethereal, almost operatic kind of voice, which clashes with the heavy guitars that come up behind it. But it's
Oh, so
it's cool.
that's who the woman that was singing. I never knew her name.
There you go. Um, and she's got a very similar look too. Actually, I love the guitar at the end of the frets here, especially and the bones being the little tuners. That's classy.
Yeah, there's a story reason for the guitar. The guitar actually does play a role in the story. And you're going
If
to see
that
why.
guitar starts talking, that's going to be freaky.
It doesn't start talking.
Because I could see that being the sort of like evil Ernie's death's head button. It's always being a smart ass to him. I could see that thing taking off and saying, hey, there you look out, they're coming up behind you here. The crowd's eating it up. Play some more. I'm not tired. And then this is Confrontation.
Oh, Susie Six. Yeah, I know who that is.
Oh yeah, okay. Is that any relation to Susie and the Banshees or a totally
Uh,
different Susie?
no, Susie and the Banshees are different of a different goth genre.
Yeah,
They're not the same as Alethea
very old. Yeah, because I was listening to them, so they'd be very old by now. Yeah, Amy Lee was definitely idolized by the Hot Topic crowd. Well, they
God,
needed
Hot
somebody.
Topic. I haven't heard that in a while.
They're still around.
How are they
And
still around?
I don't know. I thought they'd go out of business when people stopped buying Neil Gaiman's Death T-shirts, but they're still here. So who are we looking at here?
Yeah, this woman, she's the main villain. Her name is Deusabella. She is based off of she's based off of Beyonce Knowles, but take Beyonce and make her a Lovecraftian deity.
Oh, okay. So like an elder god Beyonce.
Yeah.
As if Beyonce wasn't terrifying enough. That's
Yep.
and she's very haughty looking too. And she's got her arms crossed there, her head thrown back. She looks like she's used to being listened to.
Yeah.
She got a nice rack too. I mean, it's just kind of open and out there. So she wants you to look. Now these pages look like they're still in progress too.
It is. I don't have that many pages to show because they're still being worked on.
Yeah, because these are far more detailed, and this is still working out the bottom parts here. Okay, so with it still being under construction, when are you looking at possibly having a launch on this?
I was thinking about launching it late February, early March.
Okay, a long time to collect names there, which is fine. That's what it's there for, to gauge interest and know when to launch. George says it looks good. I completely agree. Herwenberg's educating me on who Susie Sue is, the lead singer of Susie and the Banshees. I was right.
Yeah, the Cockatoos were inspired by her group.
Right. And Frog G is asking and requesting people to tickle the algorithm, smash the like, dingle the bells, and subscribe. All those are fun things. And by the way, you can also become a member, in which case we have, little membership packs that we send out to all new members. Got a sticker, a button, a patch, a keychain. We have keychain. So if you become a member, you have committed to being a walking billboard for us. We'll give you all the stuff. You just wear it. Um, so how big of a story are we looking at here with because I know it's part one. There's another part coming.
Yeah. I plan on making an ongoing series, like how most manga are. Like, what's a long running manga series? One Piece.
Yeah. Oh well.
That's just it. Never going to end. One Piece
You
is
want to
never
see a
going to
shelf
end.
full of Black Rhapsody at some time in the future?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. So, are you going to make them as thick as your typical manga volume, or are you going to go for the more American-sized 22-page floppies, or somewhere in between?
Uh, I want to make it as thick as a regular manga volume, but
Yeah.
that would be a bit difficult to do.
Now, you're only inspired by the mangas. You're not trying to make a manga. You're not going to go front page to back page, read it backwards, and
No.
yeah, good. We could that's the one contribution we can make to manga is make it readable in a forward fashion. Um,
I mean, I know most people who've read manga are used to it, but I know that doesn't mean that will prefer the other way around.
yeah, yeah. Make first rule of a published writer: make it easy for your audience. Um, it's
I
not good to confuse readers.
I was thinking about for other story arcs, I could tackle like different celebrities as different deities.
That would
Like
be cool.
have like someone like Kanye West be like a African god.
Oh, yeah. He'd be like a Nancy.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that for him the other day. Like,
Yeah,
what god could I make as an analog for Kanye? Oh, a Nancy.
yeah, because he's a trickster god. You never know what Ye's gonna do. He's like, I'm running for president. Buy my
Oh
shoes.
God.
He's he's all over the place. Devil Flyer, hey, welcome to the show. We are talking with Miss Rena about Black Rhapsody and trying to tease out all the details of the story. She's holding it pretty close to the vest there. Um, so 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 this book here, do you have a planned page count for this first volume?
Yeah, 35 plus pages.
All right. What about the other physical details of it? I mean, we talking like a $20 book, $30 book, $10 book.
I'm still working on that. I'm
Okay.
still
Yeah.
in the process of figuring out how to set up my campaign.
Okay. You're gonna fulfill it. No, I'm not gonna. You'll figure out fulfillment on your own. Um, and yes, Teleflyer is correct. Get all the facts. Get your printing costs. Get your you
I
already know
have
what
done
the
that.
artists are charging you, so um, it's it's the math, and count every little thing. I do fulfillment, and I show people exactly what it costs to do the packaging because I roll those costs in, and yeah, Scotch tape. You figure out, measure it. I use 2 inches to go across the back of a bag and board, and the tape is 300 inches, and it cost me $1.62. $1.62 divided by 150 because that's how many 2-inch strips I can get out of 300 inches. Yeah, because if you don't, you end up at the end of the day with I made a lot less money. Where did it all go? And you got 16 empty rolls of Scotch tape over here that you never accounted for because it was nothing, but it's something.
Yeah,
Count everything.
I heard that for some books, if it's less than like 40 pages, it's 15, but if it's like more than 40, it's like 25.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Um, and again, it's just a matter of the economies of scale. With the crowdfunded books, it's not to a point yet. I mean, if you start getting orders for 100,000 copies, 50,000 copies even, it's no longer going to be a $20 book. You'll get that sucker down to $5, $6 a book, which will in turn draw you in more readers in because it'll be a cheap book. You looking at doing square bound, saddle stitch?
Square bound.
Square bound. Way to go. Sits on a shelf nice that way. And if you want it to look like, manga volumes, you're going to collect. You're looking at collecting the arc, your sub arcs after a while into trade paperback volumes.
Yeah, like have one omnibus with that entire arc. Kind of like how Common America. What was the dude's name?
Tim,
Pellegrini.
Mark Pellegrini, Tim Lim. I
Mark.
know those guys.
Yeah, like how they did Common America. They did the first arc into one
Sure.
omnibus.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going to beg of you, since we're right here at the beginning, we can take care of it right now. Get a design in your mind that you're in love with for the spine of that book, and then never deviate. Because nothing drives people crazier than to have, 5 books in a series, and it's like same design, changed a little bit, back to the same design, changed a little bit again. We don't like that. We're very CDO, which is like OCD, except the letters are in the right order as they should be. So just a little design request, please, so we don't go crazy. She's like, I'm not thinking about that stuff. I'm trying to make a comic book, for crying out loud.
I mean, it's good to have in mind.
Yeah, well, it'll be up to your book designer. Just ride them for that. You'll have a cover designer take care of that, I'm assuming. And I'm not sure if it's going to be the same as your interior artist. Is she going to be doing the covers of the book as well?
Yeah, she will.
All right.
I also plan on having variants covers.
Yes. Well, everybody's got to have those. Have you started reaching out to artists yet for?
Yes, I started doing that. I was thinking about having like homage variants of certain bands or music genre, like for Deusabella.
Yeah.
Like for Deusabella, the main villain, I was thinking about having like a homage to one of Beyonce's covers, but with a more Lovecraftian cult bent to it.
Yeah, take this cover and evil it up. That would be very cool. I would make those very limited too, to increase the perceived value of those covers. I used to get the what was it? DC did the Deceased Dead Planet stuff, and they were doing the homage covers to the horror movies. So you got the Poison Ivy waking up in bed, and it was the exact same as the Nightmare on Elm Street cover. I like that stuff. I like homage. I'm kind of tired of Spider-Man 300 by now, though. We can retire that one.
I've seen that way too much.
Yes, I do like the. I don't have it with me now. I shall be back in moments. I've only got a step over here because it's right here. I just put it away. I have the starring Sonia Devereaux cover here. This is, people look at that and think, where have I seen that cover before? Well, think George Perez Avengers and Henry Gyrich walking in and telling them that 7 people can stay on the team, the rest have to go. And that's the cover that they covered.
That's very obscure. I would have never picked up on that.
Oh, well. See, well, that's because you're only 25. You've got to be at least 50 before you start saying, hey, I know that one. So where was I going? I don't know. Probably nowhere fast. And I'm sitting here looking at the screen again like everyone can see them, and they can't. There we go. I should have been doing it like this before. Get more of the image in. So how many characters are there in the book like the Glamorous Marionettes? I mean, this sounds like you've got a lot of people who can come in at different times.
Yeah, I do. Like at least 15 plus characters.
Okay. Very, very widely and diversely populated world here.
Yeah. I mean, like with most manga, there's like usually like hundreds of characters.
Yeah. And I know that I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages here. 6 pages, including the cover. There's an absence of dudes. Where's our representation at? Come on.
There's a reason for that. The
What?
the book fo- listen, the book focuses kind of on the divine feminine. So it's going to be a lot of female focused characters and goddesses. Like the world that Black Rhapsody is in is leans towards the matriarchal.
Gonna have a lot of imagery with the pointing down triangles because I've read Dan Brown, Tom Brown, Tom Clancy, Dan Brown. Got it. Okay, yeah, I've read Dan Brown. I know all about uh, the divine feminine and how it's represented by the cup as opposed to the spike, and that's about as Freudian as it'll get. But it is
Yeah,
symbolism.
there is male characters. It's just that there's not going to be a lot of them
They're there to
due
get
to the nature
killed.
of the story.
Okay.
Well, some of them get killed. Some of them are alive.
Uh, well, it's still gonna be fun. You know what? We'll read a book that's populated with all women. I think Wonder Woman's been around for a couple of years now, so um, I think it might catch on. Um, what else were they going to have? Do you have how much of the story do you have written? Not for this issue, because I know that you've got it. You've given it to your artist, and she's working on it. But you know how it ends.
I haven't made it up to. I have like for the entire series.
Yeah. How far do you? I know you say you want it to be ongoing and long running, but at this point in your head, how far is Althea's journey going? If you were to say that's good for X number of issues.
It's gonna go a lot farther. There, I don't want to. I do have an ending in mind,
Yeah, you don't have to tell me the ending. I'm just saying, right now.
but it's gonna go for a while.
Yeah. But right, how many pages do you have written, literally for
For this first part
No,
of the story, literally hundreds of pages that I had to
oh,
break up into 3 parts. So 3, 4 parts.
cool. That sounds like there's going to be a lot of fleshed out characters, in depth reading material, backstories. Uh, Hundreds of pages of writing means you got a lot of information to pull from. A lot you're going to have to cut out too. Uh,
Yeah, I know.
Murdering your darlings is the hardest part of writing, but it's comics.
Yeah, I
So,
plan to murder off some of my characters.
oh, I wasn't even thinking of your character. I'm just talking about sentences that the
Oh,
ones that you're in love with the most. It's like, I really like the way that sounded. That's just so
oh
poetic.
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
use it.
My editor
That's the
helped me
phrase "murder your
greatly.
darlings" that we have. Uh, I just keep going back and forth these pages. These two are just beautiful. This one's beautifully gruesome, and this one's just beautifully serene.
For
Uh,
the other one, the one with the marionettes, that's actually like cropped a bit because there's a spoiler at the bottom
well,
that I don't want to show yet. So
sure.
this is what would you call that? A full page, a spread?
Oh, splash page.
Yeah, a splash page. Sorry, it's remembering the difference between splash and spread. Double
Yeah, I
page
think
spread is 2 pages. Splash
yeah,
is just one.
I think
So
that's
yeah,
correct.
this is like a splash page that I cropped a bit
Well,
because I
you
don't
got
want
to
to show
protect
the
the spoilers.
spoiler.
No, no, no. They're wearing masks, aren't they?
Nope, that's actually them.
Oh, it looked like they were wearing Robin masks. Um, I thought maybe it was part of their getup, and then they were just like horror underneath of it. Um, so, so they're a band. Althea's a musician. Is this always going to be set in sort of the world of music?
Uh, yeah, with a bit of like fantasy thrown in, but music plays a large role.
So, are you a musician?
No, but I do appreciate music. I do appreciate certain different genres. Like when I started working on the story, I started listening to different genres, and I ended up falling in love with different artists that I never thought I would ever find interest in. For example, there's an artist by the name of Estonian artist by the name of Curly Cove. You ever heard of her?
No, I've not.
Yeah, she's when I was looking into like goth genres, she was one of the many artists that came up. She's kind of like gothic, but more towards the pop in recent years. And I kind of fell in love with some of her music as I was listening for like getting trying to find inspirations for my characters.
So if you were to have a soundtrack over this album, she would be on it with who else?
There'll be a bunch of different artists, but she will be one of them, and Beyonce will be the other for like designated characters.
All right, well, cool. Um,
I would love to do an album for this campaign.
yeah, well, you would not be the first to do that. I think Dave Schwartz did one for Confederate Monster. He did a vinyl album that's going out to his backers. So,
Yeah,
the thing
the
slow
only problem is I don't know how to go about it.
you gotta. Well, if you're not a musician yourself, you've got to approach musicians and and contract them.
You find musicians.
Yeah, that's how Evanescence really got found too, because they were a band in Little Rock, Arkansas, that was good, but everybody knew who they were as soon as the Daredevil trailer played in theaters, because they knew they were on the soundtrack. They did not know they were the advertising track. So every time there was a Daredevil advertising, that's the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Um, every time he was on screen, showing up at theaters, it was that "Wake Me Up Inside" song.
Oh gosh, I remember there's a part in the Electra movie that was like playing that song. I was like, this is a good sounding song. And I was like a young teen back then.
Oh yeah, you should get the whole album. I think you would really, if you're wanting some old school ethereal, yeah, Amy Lee and Evanescence, good to get. Is there anything more about the campaign that we haven't talked about that you'd like people to know before we, kind of wrap it up?
Mm, no, not yet. I'm still in the process. I'm still in the process of working on the campaign, and I don't want to give out information that might not be right. What?
Sure, sure. Because it's still in the formative stages here. Do you like bands like Drab Majesty, Lebanon, Hanover? Herwenberg's a music guy as well as a comics guy. I'm not a music guy per se. I know some. I know enough to carry a mild conversation on. Um,
No, I don't like dark wave. I did listen to some dark wave. It didn't click with me.
I've never even heard of these genres. Our Russian friends continue to pop up in the chat here, and I don't know why. I don't know why. That's not a link, sir. It's not even going to take you to a nasty site. So you thank you for coming in. We always appreciate the viewers. Dobre jutro and dave kopia, and dos vidania. But really, just come in and really talk to us, and maybe you'll get more people coming your way. Yes, you would have to you would have to contract to deal with musicians. That would be the thing to do. And
Pops, hey Pops.
Pops has got a wrench. He's out there smashing the bots over the heads with it. Thank you, Pops. I was like looking. I was like, I'm not, I'm not on my YouTube screen tonight. I'm kind of behind schedule. I got caught up in a fulfillment discussion, Pops, and I almost was late to my own show. So you know how that can get. Because I work with other crowdfunders to actually fulfill so that they can get back to writing and drawing comics, not have to worry about stuffing boxes with comics to mail out. That's what I do.
That's the part that I worry about sometimes, like fulfilling.
Well, when you're ready to talk about that, which you are nowhere near, but when you are, before launch, if you want to talk with me about that, then we can do that, and you can get your ship costs right sized so that you know what you want to charge for the shipping and everything.
I would like that because I don't know how to the shipping. That's the thing that's going to I know it's going to be extremely expensive. It's going to kill me financially because that's the thing that I've been most dreading.
We'll no, because it's not going to kill you financially at all. Because you know why? Because you're going to have the right charges in your campaign, and your customers are going to pay the shipping. Shipping doesn't cost you anything. So That's keep that in mind. If you do it right. Now, if you say, I'm going to charge, I'm going to make a $6 comic book and shipping's included, because I've seen people include the shipping on outrageously cheap books. I'm like, your book is less than the shipping cost is. You're going to go in the hole. But we'll make sure we'll talk, and we'll make sure that you don't pay anything out of your own pocket for shipping. In fact, you might even make 20 cents every time.
Oh, wow.
Something gets shipped. That would be the true way to do it. And we'll also make sure that it's not. Yeah, it's $15 to ship anywhere. No. It will be.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do international, because international shipping is mad expensive now.
We'll take care of you on that. That's the reason why we became a company, was because of international shipping. We do international shipping and we make it cheaper. So, with that said, Rena, I appreciate you coming on the show tonight. I think we had a good discussion, but I'm interested in this book. I want to see more about this book, and I'm kind of upset that there's no campaign for me to go in and back now, because this is a great big tease, and we've got 2 more months of foreplay before we can actually get down to pounding out. Boy, this is a really bad metaphor.
Oh God.
I want to see the campaign. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure the people in the chat are as well. I clicked on that for some reason, like a movie soundtrack, or like a tribute to the Doors, Stoned Immaculate. Yeah. That,
I'm not familiar with that group.
The Doors. Oh, the Doors are older than me. So.
Oh.
but yes, everybody, sign on to the Indiegogo mailing list. It's right. You can't see me. It's right below the video. It will always be there in perpetuity. Get out there, get your name on the list. That way that when it does launches, you won't miss out. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to miss out on this one. Miss Rena, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and showing us this cool artwork and this very interesting story topic. Going to look forward to seeing bigger and better things out of you as your career develops here and takes off.
Thank you for having me.
Where will we see you next? Have you got other shows lined up yet?
I plan to go on Don Chin's promote me stream next week, because he has those streams every first of the month, every first Wednesday of the month.
Yes, yeah, that's a good place to go. You try to get on the Bancroft stream. That's a great place once you have a campaign going and everything. It's not Kickstarter, so you won't face the wrath of the anti-Kickstarter brigades.
Wait, Bancroft has anti-Kickstarter people in his chat?
No, he doesn't. But there are other channels that are very much, if you're using Kickstarter, we don't want to talk to you kind of people.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. Just make comics. It's only controversial to the people to whom it's controversial, and nobody else cares. And normal people don't care. And for that matter, neither does Kickstarter, Indiegogo. As Kara Nicole said on our show last night, all they care about is that your money is coming into their accounts. Otherwise, they could care less about your politics. So with that, folks in the chat, appreciate you all being here tonight. We don't have a show unless you're here to watch it. And as always, we just hope you had a blast.